What's up, you guys? It's your homegirl here, Miss Sunshine Anderson, and you know I got soul.
So, last album came out 2010, The Sun Shines Again.
Yes.
And bring us up to speed on what you've been up to since then.
Up to speed. I'm a mommy. I'm a mommy of a beautiful 5-year-old little girl named Sky. And you know, I'm a dance mom. You know, all of the above. Yeah, you know, just trying to decide whether or not, I want to, get back into this industry again.
Really?
As cutthroat as it can be.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm back. I'm here working on a little bit of new music. So
yeah,
we'll see what happens.
I mean, would you say it's been challenging as an artist over the years, or like what's holding you back? Did you say?
It's definitely. It's always challenging when you're an artist and you want to sing and the powers that be, make it hard for you to do that.
Right.
It's definitely a challenge when you're not living up to your full potential. And what you think you should be.
Right.
It's definitely musically. So, that's a challenge in itself. And then, it gets so challenging that you decide, well, maybe I should do something else. During some downtime before the second album. Yeah, during some downtime before the third album.
Right.
I went to cosmetology school in Atlanta, got my license, so I multitask.
Right.
I'm a Jill of all trades.
Cool.
Definitely.
Yeah, I will say personally, your music, you've made some great music over the years that hasn't always gotten the exposure it's deserved. So it's unfortunate there.
That's a challenge. That's hard.
Right.
I think I told somebody a second ago. When artists are serious when they say these are my babies, these songs and these albums, and you put your heart and soul in it,
right.
And when it's not marketed and promoted or whatever the powers may be, and people don't, it doesn't get to the people, you have a hard time with that, what I mean? And sometimes I fight with, continuing to chase after an industry that hasn't been very nice to me,
right.
so to speak. So
right.
That's a challenge. It is a challenge.
Cool. All right.
Definitely.
So talk about, I know you've been doing this radio show a little bit. Talk about that and how that's going.
Yeah, well, I was on the radio, radio personality on my home station, Power 98, Nolan and Larry morning Madhouse show in Charlotte, North Carolina. I did that for about a year and a half. And now I had a segment called Sunshine Situations, and I'm now taking that segment to my homegirl show, the Real Girls Rock Show.
Okay.
You can find us online at realgirlsrockshow.com. Make sure you check us out every Tuesday, 8 p.m. And being a radio host, a radio personality, honestly gives me a chance to, I'm still connected to the industry. You know what I mean? I still get a chance to be me.
Right.
I still get a chance to be me.
For sure.
I may not be singing, but people still get to hear my voice, regardless of what it is. So
cool.
It's great. I love it. So make sure you check us out. 8 p.m. on Tuesday.
Cool. So, your first album came out back in 2001.
Yeah.
If you were to decide to do new music again, would you approach it any differently with the things you've learned and with the way that the industry has changed? Would you approach it any differently?
Would I approach the music or would I approach
just
the
how
industry
just the industry, and would it change the way you created music?
The industry totally different.
Yeah.
Totally different. When I came in, I won't tell you how old I was, but I was old enough. But I wasn't prepared. Nothing can prepare you for this, first of all. Okay, you can, even Beyonce been preparing all her life, but when it first happened, you know what I mean. The day it happened, it's still like wow.
Right.
You know what I mean. So nothing can prepare you for it, but I wasn't educated. I have a book that I'm writing. Will tell you the details.
Okay.
I wasn't educated. You know what I mean. I had no idea. What it was. I honestly can be real honest with you. When I moved to California for the first time, I didn't even really understand that. I thought that they were giving me a trial run in the studio. You know what I mean? We recorded the first three songs. I didn't really understand that those songs were going on my album. I kind of thought, oh, well, I've never really been in a real professional studio before,
right.
You know what I mean? Oh, these are just kind of dummy songs we're doing, you know what I mean? So I was really not prepared, clueless. I hadn't thought about imaging. I hadn't thought about magazines and, hairstylists and sponsors and different charities to support. I hadn't thought about any of that. I just want to sing. I just want to sing. So would I approach it differently? Yes. And I tell people all the time, that want to get into this industry, educate yourself. You know, doctors go to medical school, cosmetologists go to cosmetology school.
Right.
There's no school that you can go to get training for this.
Right.
So you have to take it upon yourself, you know, to educate yourself. And you know, there's all kind of books and you know, Donald Passman's Everything You Need to Know About the Music Business. I think he updates it every, you know, so and so years. You know, Kashif's Everything You Should Know or Better Know About the Industry. You know what I mean? You know, read these books and you know, just educate yourself. You can't call yourself an artist today if you don't have YouTube, if you ain't on Twitter, if you ain't on, you know what I mean? People run into me all day long and say, well, what can I do? And I want to be a star. Well, do you have this? You know, you got to do a little bit of legwork these days.
Right.
These days, you got to work hard.
Right.
So, yeah, I would go about it totally different. I would educate myself.
Great points. And then just finally, you mentioned you were working on a little bit of new music, even if you're not deciding to go back into it all the way. What motivates you when creating new music these days?
Honestly, what happens is that, you know, I'll be honest, the last album and the album before that, you know, the last 2 albums I said, I'm not doing it again. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
And what happens is that, you know, I go to the studio and I walk in the door and this beautiful melody is playing, you know what I mean? It's like the music really speaks.
Right.
The music speaks, you know. The last album I wasn't gonna do it. There were certain songs on the last album that I wasn't gonna record. You know what I mean? But you walk in the studio and you hear it, you know, through the big speakers, and it just really, I'm telling you, it's an out of body experience. You know what I mean? It's, you know, it touches my soul. It touches my heart. You know, because it is me. Mm-hmm. And before I know it, I'm on the mic. You know what I mean?
Crazy.
So you can't fight it. You know what I mean? You can't fight it. If it's in you and if it's your passion, you know. I guess I'll find a way.
Right.
I'll find a way to get around the obstacles.
Cool.
And come back to who I am and what I love.
Cool. So, anything you want to add?
Make sure you check me out on Twitter @Sunshine. Make sure you check me out on IG @IamSunshineAnderson.com. Oh, I am Sunshine Anderson, of course, SunshineAnderson.com. And I love y'all. You know, I always invite you to come along on this journey with me.